All set?
Ready.
It is 6 o'clock according to my computer. Let's go with Augusta. And this young man is, and your name is?
Matt Lepore.
Hi, Matt. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
We're on.
We're on, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 26th meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. I'd like to start off with a Pledge of Allegiance, please. Matt, would you like to lead us?
Sure.
All right.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
It's an icebreaker.
The board is just coming out of a paperwork review. And on the consent agenda, we have the following three items. The June 12th, 2017 meeting minutes, a payroll manifest of June 22nd of $55,891.79, and June 29th of $55,527.65. We have an AP manifest, that's accounts payable, at June 20th of $289,360.24. And June 27th of $77,445.33. Are there any items on the consent agenda that members would like removed for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept or to approve them.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Perry, second by Mr. Brunel. Any discussion? Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 5-0-0. Are there any other items of business that members would like to have added to the agenda? Okay, public input will occur no earlier than 6:15 tonight. We have a brief agenda, so we're shortening the usual order of business. Okay, on to the regular order of business. Number 1, Conservation Alternate Member, Matthew Mark Walter Lepore.
It's in there,
And it is in here.
if you want to see it.
Matthew?
Yep.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So you would like to be an alternate member
I would.
on the Conservation Commission? Excellent. Just probably give us a little extent of what you intend to accomplish when you get on there. Why would you like to be on the Conservation?
Well, for two reasons. I'd like to see the utilization and the preservation of Litchfield town lands. I'd like to be able to see people use them, like areas like Parker Park or like the State Forest. I often go there for mountain biking, and I like how those areas have remained untouched and people have been enjoying them over the years.
Nice.
Let's see what else. I've been a resident here all my life, and I've used the land a lot myself, and I'd like to see it kind of remain in the same way that it is right now, but I'd also like to see it utilized for recreation and other purposes for businesses to perhaps come into town.
And I'm assuming you'd use this as an education experience for you also, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
'Cause Conservation has, a whole host of items that they do, which would be great. It's nice to see young blood coming into our boards and committees.
Mm-hmm.
Members, any questions for Matt? You mind if I call you Matt?
Yep, that's okay.
Okay.
You'll be available for the meetings? They meet, what, twice a month?
Once first Thursday of every month.
That's it, only once a month. Can you carve it out of your schedule?
I can do that, yep.
Awesome. You plan on being a regular attendee?
Yes.
So, as I've said before, the Conservation Commission, it's a conservation?
Yes.
Conservation, see, I was getting mixed up, I was about to say recreation. Conservation, yeah, no. You hit all the talking points, you're good with me.
Yeah. Do you have any questions of us, Matthew?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. If you have nothing and members of the board have nothing, I will entertain a motion to appoint Matthew Mark Walter Lepore a conservation alternate member for a term to expire April 1st, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Bork, seconded by Mr. Brunel. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 500. Welcome. Thank you for offering your time.
Thank
And we
you.
hope you have a productive term on the committee.
I look forward to it.
You do
Thank you
need to
very
get
much.
sworn in, so.
Yep.
As soon as tomorrow, you can go to the town clerk's office and have Terry swear you in.
Okay,
She'll yell at you, so.
Yep.
You'll just need to do it before you can
Yeah,
attend the
that's
meeting.
okay.
Okay?
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good
Matthew.
night.
Thanks, you too.
Nice to see younger folks helping out with
Yes.
this type of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. All right, item 2, the dog warrant. I do not have permission apparently to have access to that.
Nope,
That's enough.
neither of them. We're out in the cold.
If you want the hard copy.
Okay, I have it.
Yeah, there's no hard copy.
Okay, it says on June 26, 2017, the town clerk for Litchfield present a list of the owners of dogs who have failed to license or not renew their dog licenses pursuant to RSA 466:1. We are hereby directed to issue a civil forfeiture for each unlicensed dog in compliance with the provisions of RSA 466.14:14. Further, you and duly sworn members of the Litchfield Police Department are authorized to seize any unlicensed dog following written warning to the dog owner. Given under our hands at Litchfield, New Hampshire, this 13th day of June 2016, and this is directed to Police Chief Joseph O'Brien in the county of Hillsborough in the town of Litchfield. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Brunel,
A second.
seconded by Mr. Bork. Discussion, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion, abstain? Motion carries 5-0-0. Item 3, 1-inch HBP wearing course waiver, Colby Road and Pine Avenue. Troy?
Okay, it's another issue that's come up with the Pennachuck Waterline Extension Project. Lou Karen is the town contracted engineer. He's out on site working with Pennachuck and the subcontractors. They've identified another street, whereas we'll be installing that curbing. I refer to her as the Cape Cod berm. And really the best practice is that when you install a curbing, that it be locked in with paving in the front and earth material behind it, so that during the snow plowing season, if it gets touched, it's locked in, it won't move. If you don't lock this stuff in, I guess it just slides right off the pavement. So I did ask Lou in an email correspondence, I said, do we have any more of these streets? Because I know I keep bringing these streets to you one at a time, and I thought we had already addressed all the streets, and he's assured me that these are the last streets. So we got Colby and a part of Pine Avenue. And as I've told the board before, this, even though we're going to be putting down that final wearing course, the road still have a bond in place, performance bond for 2 years.
Okay, so, Troy, what do we need to do? Grant the waiver as a board?
Yeah, because we're on record stating that these roads would only receive the base course this year. It would set for 1 year, and then the wearing course would go on next spring.
Members, questions, comments?
Why is this better than granite curbing? I know why they do it.
It's not better. I mean, granite curbing is probably the best, but they're replacing in kind, as I understand. What was there, what was existing
Right,
was
it was
the asphalt.
Existing before.
I can promise you, this wasn't on some of the roads I've seen repaved.
No, like Temple had a Cape Cod berm.
All right, well, What's the one that leads all the way down to Robin? That from Century all the way down. They have Cape Cod berm all the way over there. And if you look at it, that stuff is 4 inches above the ground level that was there. And I saw a guy out there in his front yard with a wheelbarrow trying to fill in behind it this weekend.
Well,
And I felt bad for him.
well, some people are doing it on their own because they're very fussy as to what the backfill material is. So,
There's no backfill material right now.
well, because when they come in and put the curbing down, there's another crew that come in a couple weeks later and they do the landscaping. So that's what you've got a couple different crews doing different things. So some of the streets, the curbing is being installed this year. Those streets were the ones, and we haven't asked for waiver because those streets were worked on last fall. And those streets are getting the binder course and the final wearing course and the curbing and all the final landscaping. It's the streets that the water lines were installed this spring that we have brought forward for waivers.
The pleasure of the board.
Whatever.
You're moving to grant the waiver,
No,
okay?
I said whatever.
Okay.
I've never liked Cape Cod berm. I understand it's cheaper. I understand it resolves a problem. But it'll be our problem again when it gets hit by the plow and we have to fix it.
I agree.
But are we suggesting we would put in granite instead?
No, you can't
Right.
because they have to replace what was there.
Right, like for like.
Well, yes,
Like
exactly.
in kinds.
Doesn't have to like it. I don't have to like the like for like.
Right, you don't have to. We can choose to pick up the difference in cost, but we don't have the funds
It's
to
too
do
late.
that.
All right, so our town engineer recommends the waiver.
So
That's
someone
correct.
Someone should make the motion.
Yes, I'll be happy to accept the motion to grant the waiver. Gentlemen,
I'll make the motion.
moved by Mr. Bork. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Britton. Further discussion or comments,
I
questions?
mentioned that I didn't like Cape Cod berm.
You know, as a case in point, I'm actually renting a grinder for my house. I live on Pilgrim. We got repaved. They ran the berm right across my driveway. I've got like a major speed bump across my driveway, and I'm going to Hudson Grand Rental, and I'm gonna rent an asphalt grinder to bring that thing down.
And you're gonna ruin the town road?
It's only the berm. It's only the Cape Cod berm. It's not.
why
I'm
would
not
they
touching
put
the road. I'm touching the berm.
But why would
It's
they
a
put
lip of your
berm across
driveway?
driveway?
Well, because I'm on a slope, and
Yeah.
when they first paved it, all the water came into my yard, so then they went right back and they fixed it. But they put like, you know, I literally could chip a tooth if I drove too fast over this bump. And I have a horseshoe shaped driveway, so I've got 2 of them, and they drive me bananas. So I'm gonna grind them right down as low as I can and be done with it. But that's why I hate Cape Cod berm.
I don't know if you were supposed to say that.
Sure he was.
Say what? Did I just say?
Okay,
It's done.
okay, gentlemen, is there any further discussion of the motion?
I think we discussed it enough.
All those in favor of granting the waiver, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Abstain. Motion carries 4-1-0. Waiver is granted.
I will not personally bring another one of those waiver requests. I'll ask Lou Karen or someone else to present.
I didn't look in your direction when I was granting.
Unfortunately,
I could have.
It has to be like in kind, so there's nothing we
Right.
can do.
Right.
Right, and I would think it's up to the planning board, isn't it, to determine or to which kind of curbing goes on the street?
Anytime, well, most of
Isn't that a
those,
planning
most
board
of those,
function?
yeah, and most of those streets are very old, so
Yeah.
it comes out of the planning board's hands. It's only during the planning stages that it makes a difference. And very rarely will you see developers want to put in granite curbing because of the cost difference.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's move on to the last order of business, the budget schedule. Mr. Brown.
Okay, hopefully it's shared with you. Okay, so I put together this This lays out the schedule for at least the start of the budget process. As you get towards the bottom, we'll have to be adding some items. If we're gonna have, if we actually have a bond article this year, I'll be adding some, dates for bond hearings and notices and stuff like that. But basically laid out the same program as we have in the past couple of years. We would start the budget review August the 28th, and you see the budget discussion items on the 28th. And September 11th, we would do all of the big budgets, and we would wrap up on the 25th with some of the smaller budgets and the boards and commissions. One of the things that Selectman Brunel has told me that the Budget Committee has requested this year is they really want those warrant articles as complete as possible when we provide them with the budget on September the 29th. They also have a request in that we have the default budget completed, understanding that some of the numbers won't be in the health insurance, property
Most of
liability.
the time, it's impossible to come up with that.
I can put it together the best I can. It'll be 75% complete.
So what
We
good
won't
is
be able
that?
to wrap up default budget until probably, if you're lucky,
Seems like a
end
waste
of
time.
October, mid-November, but depends on
Seems like a waste
insurance.
of time, because you'll come up with it, and then as soon as something changes, they're gonna tell us that it's wrong, because it was already submitted that way, and they're not gonna wanna accept the changes. I say you don't
Well,
give
they
it.
don't, they don't have any authority over the default
right.
anyway, and they know that, they're looking at it for more of a reference, and I tend to agree with you, but if we have it in rough draft anyway, they know it's in rough draft, and we already laid out that there are several items, like health insurance and different things like that are gonna get changed in December, so if they understand that, it's not much more.
And those are the big items.
Yeah, and I personally don't understand the value of doing it. To me, the default's what it is. The budget committee shouldn't use a reference, use our past history, past 3 years, what we've been doing and what we recommend. But, I'm trying to be kinder and gentler.
Yep.
Lucky you, John. Lucky you.
Okay, so Troy, this is informational only, or has the budget committee, are they okay?
Well, the budget, I've used the budget committee's dates, because they've already lined
Okay.
up the
Yep.
town and school meetings. So, as a formality, I think the board usually adopts the schedule, and then I'll get this schedule out to all the department heads and boards and committee members this week,
Okay,
giving them advance notice so we can start working on these things.
okay.
Alright, so I have an issue with, how do we think we're gonna do all the big budgets in one night?
It's not that difficult.
There's not a lot of major changes in those budgets to begin with. I mean, the other option is to take a Saturday and come in on a Saturday and plow it out between now and, that and lunchtime.
Hey, if we keep having agendas like this, I'm fine with working on budget during
Well,
meetings.
that's true. If the agendas are just budget focused, what's
Yeah.
the issue, right?
But with, we did this last year, and
Yeah. we
it wasn't
were
that
okay.
bad.
Okay, the pleasure of the board. I'll entertain a motion to accept the schedule as written,
Why would we make a motion to accept it?
because the town administrator would like to have us adopt it, so he can proceed
We
forward.
shuffle these things all the time.
I understand, and it's not hard, cast in stone, this is an outline, this is a guide. So we're adopting this so that
I'll
he
make a
can-
motion that we approve the budget schedule as submitted, even though I think it's a waste.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Perry, second by Mr. Bork, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
I feel like we changed this thing so much, it's foolish to.
Right, well, it's a guide, we start, and then we work with it, it's a fluid document.
I have a problem with speaking my mind.
I see that.
You do?
Okay, it is 6:20, and I will open the floor for public comment. It seems that there is no one here from the public. I can only assume that there will be no public comment. So I will close the public comment session, and we'll move on to our administrator report. Mr. Brown.
Okay. One thing I wanted to let the board know, with the approval of the state budget, it's my understanding that the highway block grant funds, additional funds were awarded. And they've taken state surplus funds and will add another $30 million to the highway block grant funding. Also to bridge funding, we don't have any projects to qualify for that. But I'm sure that New Hampshire Municipal Association will be having a schedule out soon. I've seen some preliminary numbers, and I've been told that we may even receive the same amount that we received already. So I find that hard to believe, but anyhow, I've informed Jack that he should probably plan on receiving anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 of additional highway block grant funding this year. So
This year or over the biennium?
It's this year. So
Okay.
that's what I understand. It's going to be released this year. And the law is going to allow the selectmen to hold a hearing, accept the funds, and spend them for that purpose.
We're going to have to look at that closely because originally one of the additional increases, I'm not sure which fund, one of them required it to be used for new programs, not existing. So, and I think the municipal association, we're going to try to get them to alter that. So it'll be important for us to read the language on that when it comes in.
Yeah.
Take a good look at it to see where you, because if we have to do new projects versus old, then it doesn't really, well, it may help the tax rate indirectly, but I mean, I know one of their issues, what they wanted to offset the tax rate in towns. And they thought that by new projects, it would help to do that or whatever, but we'll have to just read that language
If
carefully.
we have to do new projects, we can do more pavement down
Absolutely.
into
Absolutely.
the Sawmill.
Sawmill,
We could do.
where's that?
Do the
New
parking lot.
pavement.
New pavement, yeah.
Where's that? We'll have to consult with the road agent and see what happens.
I've asked Jack to start looking at it and, start thinking about what project he'd like to do. We talked about it this morning real quick, and his first thoughts were continuing the Page Road project.
That needs it, yeah.
Also along that line, Mr. Byron shared a Meals and Rooms distribution sheet.
Yeah,
It's stated, and over the biennium, we may be getting an additional 30,000 something over the,
Yeah, it didn't seem
Yeah.
substantial, but it does look
No.
like there could be some additional funding there.
but I mean, it looks like, but I'm gonna wait to see,
Yeah.
so.
Can we trust that guy?
Well, sure, but it's the idea, of course we can trust him, but
Wow.
that was before the budget passed, so, I believe, so. All right, Troy, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I also wanted to let you know, I was contacted by the Litchfield Presbyterian Community Church, one next to the fire station. And as you know, across the street, they own the building where they have the food pantry. And I guess they've been having discussions about the need to have a crosswalk or some kind of warning system so that they can safely cross the road there to get back and forth from the food pantry. So the church pastor had contacted DOT, and they said, yeah, we could put in a crosswalk, you could put in some flashing lights. There's standards that you would have to follow with New Hampshire DOT.
And
However,
the price is,
however, the church would not be able to request that. It would have to be the town. They would only grant it for the town, and the town would have to take on the cost of the operational costs. So whether there's an installation cost, I don't know. They didn't have all the details. So I just wanted to give the boards a head up. I said that I would look into it, make contact with the state, and get all the facts, and then I'd just bring it back to this board for consideration.
okay,
Also, Pat Jewett has contacted me, and well, as you know, at the last meeting, Board of Selectmen approve the pole attachment agreement with Eversource. So we've been trying to get the application submitted to Eversource. We've done that last Friday. We actually went and purchased some flag kits that we thought were a good price, good quality, and in reviewing the attachment agreement, I realized that it specifically stated that decorations hung or attached to the utility poles would have to be non-metallic. So they have to be either a fiberglass pole or a wood pole. So the flags that we purchased had an aluminum pole. So we're gonna have to return those. They've not been opened, so we can return them. And, we wanted to try to get some flags up and displayed for the 4th of July. Still trying to do that. We're trying to get Eversource to, I got a special request in that they could come down. They have to inspect the poles before we install anything. So we'll just do it day by day here and see what we can do. It's a little hard right now to find the wooden poles. I did find a company in Concord that has 12 of the sets. So we might just end up doing something like that and then see what we can find on the internet.
You're just looking for the poles?
Well, it's a kit, so it comes with
Flag.
it comes with a bracket. You want a solid
You gotta get
pole.
ones that,
I was gonna say Home Depot carried it.
Yeah.
well, yeah, you gotta get the ones that have a circle that don't
They-
roll up with the wind, that can
Yeah,
stay
there's some
nicely.
spinning.
Because you can't get up there to,
And then it's highly recommended that you get a solid pole. You don't get like a two-piece.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a commercial, like more of a commercial.
Something that's supposed to be so easy, not so easy.
Yeah, I mean, someone's, so I just wanted to let the board be aware of that. And special detail fund. Let me see, just wanted the board. We are coming up, next payroll, we'll be doing the 457 matching funds for the police officers. And I just want to let the board know that Karen had just taken a look at the fund for me today. We have a cash balance of $40,000, and we have outstanding accounts receivable at about $17,000.